Accept. You think, want to think.
When you want to think. In short, pranayama helps every type of physical, mental, and spiritual problem in the process of healing. From birth to death, proper breathing is very good for everybody, including babies and children, pregnant women, and elderly people. Prana, without exception. Everyone has to breathe. Prana and pranayama are the best type of healing when practiced properly with meditation on absolute Godhood in the form of I am, beyond the body and mind. Please test this fact. When you feel this fact, then you will come directly to know who is who and what is what.
Body, breathe. What happened in whole body when breathing goes in?
Watch your breathing and feel what happens in the whole body when the breathing goes.
Have what your pranic body.
If you watch your pranic body,
you cannot feel your physical body.
You cannot feel your physical body.
Although you know it is here.
Although you know it is there.
Full body, he transformed into vibration.
Your whole body is transformed into vibration.
Pulsation.
Pulsation.
Of electricity.
Of electricity.
That's the only bothering feeling. That's the only breathing, cycle of breathing.
The cycle of breathing.
Then the third eye.
And the third eye.
It's cold.
Isn't it cold? I can't sit.
I will have it.
I know you're happy, that's why I'm moving and I'm about to go up and get a blanket.
Mana. Mana. Mana.
So I'm not circulating the same.
Through my body.
No, this
I know, it's everywhere.
gently. So warm.
I know.
On the tea and body. And then tea.
Read that Shiva's Sri Rama's intercession with Bhagavan Shiva for marriage, Parvati's unique fidelity, love's departure on the errand of the gods and his being burned to death. Okay, that is number 23, page. Above that, Shri Rama's intercession with Bhagavan Shiva for marriage. Above that, descent of goddess Parvati and her tenants. Before that is Sati's self-sacrifice through the fire. Very nice story.
Really good. For everybody.
Something for everybody?
It's available, especially the afternoon.
I should read?
Yes.
They have the wrong page.
Here.
I go there. Never mind. You told me, don't come this way.
I could just move over this way a little and sit there.
I will feel like back and
I feel. Oh,
die.
you mean you want videoed?
Real.
Never. Then Vyaska. Vyaska, please.
Oh, really great today. Oh dear, no, I'm...
Are you?
No reading.
Yes. Can you do it? Forward. Do it.
83.
Do it.
Psychotherapy.
83.
How you do it? You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Who is it?
You.
I don't know English words.
Hey.
There are not many Sanskrit words here, but
Really.
I'm trying to find, the page number was not exactly correct. I will find it just now. 23. Okay. 23 and 86, but it is 86. Araka by name flourished in those days. His strength of arm, glory and majesty were great indeed. He conquered all the spheres.
Bahmananda.
Like modern times, as the demons are under.
Hiding.
Hijacking.
Low jacking, middle jacking.
That's George Braden's. He conquered all the spheres, as well as the guardians of those spheres. And all the gods were robbed of their happiness and prosperity. Knowing neither age nor death, he was invincible. The gods fought many a battle with him and lost them.
You cannot see.
We cannot see.
Although heavily.
Although
It's coming heavily.
it's bothering everybody, but
Hovering.
hovering every.
Hovering.
Hovering?
Hovering.
No.
Hovering.
Governing. Governing everybody. The gods fought many a battle with him and lost them. They then went to Viranchi, Brahma, the creator, and told him their grievances. The creator found all the gods miserable. Brahma reassured them all, saying, "The demon shall die only when there is a son sprung from the loins of Shambhu, for he alone can subdue the demon in battle. Hearing what I say, act accordingly. God will help you and the plan will succeed. Sati, who left her body at the sacrifice performed by Daksha, has been born again in the house of Himachan. She has undergone penance for winning the hand of Shambhu, Shiva, while Shiva has renounced everything and sits absorbed in contemplation. Although it is most unseemly, yet hear one proposal of mine. Approaching Cupid, the god of love, send him to Shiva, and let him disturb the serenity of Shankara's mind. Then we shall go and bow our head at Shiva's feet and prevail on him to marry even against his will. In this way alone may the interests of the gods be served. So Shiva and Shambhu and Shankar are all the same, if you don't know. The idea is excellent, everybody said. The gods then prayed with great devotion, and the god of love, armed with 5 arrows, the 5 arrows are the white lotus, the ashoka flower, the mango blossom, the jasmine, and the blue lotus. These are the 5 kinds of arrows with which the god of love is believed to be armed. And also having a fish emblazoned on his standard, the god of love appeared on the scene. Fish, if you eat a lot of fish, therefore you will be... Yeah, that's
very wise.
You'll be very wise and...
He is 19.
Fish is nicely compared with
Pain.
for the brain.
But
Fish is the symbol of the unconscious?
Well,
he can't the whole mind. I say, whole mind. Karma attack.
Karma attacks
Through mind.
through the mind. Fish represents the
My
mind.
psychoanalyst had pictures of fish everywhere in her office.
Yeah? There's the story of the fish that would expand its form. That was the mind, not Akasha. So, he appeared. The gods told him all their distress. Hearing their tale, the god of love pondered and spoke thus with a smile. I expect no good results for myself from hostility to Shambhu. However, I shall do your work, for the Vedas say benevolence is the highest virtue. The saints ever praise him who lays down his life in the service of others. So saying, the god of love bowed his head to all and departed with his associates, the bow of flowers in hand. While leaving, Love thought within himself that hostility to Shiva would mean sure death to him. Well, he then exhibited his power and brought the whole world under his sway. When the god of love, who bears a fish for his emblem, betrayed his anger, all the barriers... Oh, this is this story. Why should I have to read it? All the barriers imposed by the Vedas were swept away in a moment. The whole army of Viveka, discriminating knowledge, which is continence, religious vows, self-restraint of many kinds, fortitude, piety, spiritual wisdom, and the knowledge of qualified divinity both with form and without form, morality, the muttering of prayers, yoga, the contemplative union with God, dispassion, and so on, The whole army of Viveka fled in panic. Viveka took to flight with his associates. His great warriors turned their back on the field of battle. They all went and hid themselves in mountain caves in the form of sacred books at that time. If you don't believe it,
At 9 o'clock today?
Guruji,
No.
it may be on the radio and it's just about to start in 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think we all want to hear it. North
Whole day.
Public
Testimony.
Whole day.
North's public testimony.
Whole
We
day.
repeat it whole day, but it's going to be on radio at 9. I bet you it is. I want to hear it. Well, after this they're going to... Don't record this. Okay, I stopped it. Okay. There was commotion in the world, and everybody said, "My goodness, what is going to happen? What power will save us? Who is that superhuman being with 2 heads, to conquer whom the Lord of Rati, love, has lifted his bow and arrows in rage?" What could be the idea behind this? Okay. Rati is the name of love's wife.
Cupid's wife?
Tell one.
Her name is basically Romance.
Whatever creatures existed in the world, whether animate or inanimate, and bearing masculine or feminine appellations, they transgressed their natural bounds and were completely possessed by lust. The minds of all were seized with lust. The boughs of trees bent low at the sight of creepers. Rivers in spate rushed to meet the ocean. Lakes and ponds united in love with one another. Where such was reported to be the case with the inanimate creation, who can relate the doings of sentient beings? Beasts that walk on land and birds traversing the air and water, they lost all sense of time and became victims of lust. The whole world was blinded with passion and agitated. The Chakravaka birds, the ruddy geese, there's a note, the red gander and goose are said to unite only during the daytime. They cannot meet at night even if there is no physical barrier between them. During the brief span of time referred to above, they ignored this natural bar and met even during the night. Okay. They regarded neither day nor night. Gods, demons, human beings, kinnaras, a class of demigods, serpents, even evil spirits, fiends, ghosts, and vampires. I have refrained from dwelling on the condition of these, knowing them to be eternal slaves of passion. Even siddhas, spiritual adepts, great sages who had no attraction for the world, and yogis and mystics gave up their yoga, their contemplative union with God, under the influence of lust. So even great yogis and ascetics were completely possessed by lust, to say nothing of low-minded people. Those who till lately looked upon the animate and inanimate creation as full of Brahman, God, now saw it as full of the fair sex. Women perceived the whole world as full of men, while the latter beheld it as full of women. For nearly 1 hour, this wonderful game of love lasted in the universe. Nobody could remain self-possessed. The hearts of all were stolen by the God of love.
Whole human healthy.
The whole human story, this is, in a nutshell.
Cancel.
devil and how to get out of it.
Trouble and how to get out of it. So the hearts of all were stolen by the God of
First
love.
thing is not trouble. How to get out.
How to get out is the
When you know first thing is how to get out of it.
The main thing is how to get out
Out of the way.
of the way,
Out of trouble.
Out of trouble.
They alone could hold their own against him, the God of love. The hero of Raghu's race extended his protection.
I go to have to
Therefore you have to
meditate
meditate
on
the third eye.
the whole thing being what?
The whole thing becomes... This is the story leading up to that. Okay. The wonder lasted for an hour or so, till the God of love reached Shambhu. Cupid trembled at the sight of Shiva. The whole world returned to itself. No, he's trembling. The world is okay. All living beings regained their peace of mind at once, even as the intoxicated feel relieved when their spell of drunkenness is over. The God of love was struck with terror at the sight of Bhagavan Rudra, Shiva, who is so difficult to conquer and so hard to comprehend. He felt shy in retreating and was incapable of doing anything. Ultimately, he resolved upon death and devised a plan. He forthwith manifested the lovely spring, the king of all seasons. Rows of young trees laden with flowers appeared so charming. Woods and groves, wells and ponds, and all the quarters of heaven assumed a most delightful aspect. Everywhere nature overflowed with love, as it were. The sight aroused passion even in dead souls. Passion was aroused even in dead souls, and the beauty of the forest beggared description. A cool, gentle, and fragrant breeze fanned the fire of passion as a faithful companion. Rows of lotuses blossomed in lakes, and swarms of charming bees hummed on them. Swans, cuckoos, and parrots uttered their sweet notes, while celestial damsels sang and danced. The God of love, with his army of followers, exhausted all his numberless stratagems. Shiva's unbroken trance, however, could not be disturbed. This made Cupid angry. Seeing a beautiful bough of a mango tree, the God of love climbed up to it in a mood of frustration. He joined his 5 arrows to his bow of flowers, and casting an angry look, drew the string home to his very ears. He discharged the 5 sharp arrows which smote the breast of Shiva. The trance was now broken, and Shambhu awoke. The Lord's mind was much agitated. Opening his eyes, he looked all around. When he saw Cupid hiding behind mango leaves, he flew into a rage which made all the 3 spheres tremble. Shiva then uncovered his 3rd eye, and the moment he looked at the God of love, the latter was reduced to ashes. A loud wail went up through the universe. The gods were alarmed, while the demons were gratified. The thought of the loss of sense delights made the voluptuary sad, while the striving yogis were relieved of a thorn as it were. The yogis were freed from torment, while Rati, the wife of the god of love, fainted as soon as she heard the fate of her lord. Weeping and wailing and mourning in various ways, she approached Shankar, and making loving entreaties in divergent forms, she stood before the Lord with clasped hands. Seeing the helpless woman, the benevolent Lord Shiva, who is so easy to placate, prophesied as follows. Henceforth, O Rati, your husband shall be called by the name of Ananga, bodiless. He shall dominate all, even without a body. Now hear how you will meet him again. When Shri Krishna will descend in the line of Yadu to relieve the earth of its heavy burden, your Lord will be born again as his son, Pradyumna. This prediction of mine can never be untrue. Hearing the words of Shankara, Rati went away. I now proceed to relate the subsequent part of the story, when Brahma, the creator, and the other gods received all the tidings. They repaired to Vaikuntha, the abode of Lord Vishnu. Thence all the gods, including Vishnu and Viranchi, Brahma, went where the all-merciful Shiva was. The all-merciful Shiva. Okay. They severally extolled and won the pleasure of the Lord, whose crest is adorned by the crescent. Shiva, who is an ocean of compassion and has a bull emblazoned on his standard, said, "Tell me, immortals, what has brought you here?" To this Brahma replied, "Lord, you are the inner controller of all. Even then, my master, my devotion to you urges me to make the following submission. The heart of all the immortals is seized with a dominating impulse. They long to witness your wedding with their own eyes, my Lord. O humbler of the pride of love, devise some means whereby we may be able to feast our eyes on this glad event. Having burnt the god of love, you have done well in granting a boon to Rati, O ocean of compassion. Having meted out punishment, good masters shower their grace as a matter of course. Such is their natural habit. Now Parvati has practiced penance, the magnitude of which cannot be estimated. Kindly accept her now." Hearing the entreaty of Brahma and remembering the words of the Lord Shri Rama, Shiva gladly said, "Amen." The gods thereupon sounded their kettle drum, and raining down flowers they exclaimed, "Victory, victory to the Lord of Celestials." Considering it to be an opportune moment, the 7 seers also arrived on the scene. Brahma immediately sent them to the abode of Himavan, and they approached Bhavani in the first instance and addressed the following sweet yet deceptive words to her. "Relying on the advice of Narada, you would not heed our remonstrances then. Your vow has failed now, for the great Lord Shiva has burned the god of love. But hearing this, Bhavani smiled and said, O great and illumined sages, you have spoken aright. According to your belief, it is only now that Shambhu has burned the god of love, and that till now he was smitten with love. To my mind, however, Shiva is eternally in rapport with the infinite, unbegotten, irreproachable, passionless, and without enjoyment. Knowing him as such, if I have served him lovingly in thought, word, and deed, then hear, O great sages, the gracious Lord will accomplish my vow. Your statement that Hara has burned the god of love betrays woeful lack of thought on your part. Fire, my friends, possesses this inherent property that frost can never approach it. In case it does, it must inevitably perish. Similar is the case with the god of love and the great Lord Shiva. Hearing the words of Bhavani and perceiving her devotion and faith, the sages were gladdened at heart. Bowing their head to her, they went to Himavan. They related the whole episode to him, and he was much grieved to hear how Shiva had burned love. The sages then told him of the boon granted to Rati, and Himavan was much relieved to learn this. Recalling to his mind the glory of Shambhu, Himavan respectfully summoned the great sages. Should be known that Himavan is the father of Parvati. Okay. He had an auspicious date, the asterism and the hour ascertained, and speedily got the exact time of the wedding fixed, and noted down according to the Vedic precepts. Himachala handed over the note recording the exact time of wedding to the 7 seers. Okay. He handed over the note recording the exact time of the wedding to the 7 seers, and clasping their feet made entreaties to them. Calling on Brahma, the Creator, they delivered the note to him, and as he went through it, his heart overflowed with joy. Brahma read the note aloud to all. The sages, as well as the whole concourse of gods, was delighted to hear it. Flowers were showered from the air, music flowed from various instruments, and auspicious jars were placed in all directions. This is continuing now. They want to continue? All the gods began to adorn their vehicles and aerial cars of various kinds. Now Shiva and Parvati are going to get married, but it's going to take some
What is the meaning? What is the meaning?
The meaning of this.
What is the meaning of for you?
For you.
I send a message for you.
What is the message for you?
Burning piano. Why without prana?
The
Cycle.
cycle of prana.
A passing.
It's passing.
Passing.
You're watching.
Cycle of prana. I know you bought cycle of prana.
As long as you watch the cycle of prana,
So long you cannot think.
so long you cannot think.
That
Try.
was cycle of prana.
Watch the cycle of prana.
through heart eye, through heart eye.
Through the third eye.
Continue with God. I get up on.
Continue to watch the cycle of prana.
Thinking mind cannot operate.
Thinking mind cannot operate.
Your body becomes electrified.
Your body becomes
Exercise.
anesthetized.
Whole body becomes electrical vibration.
The whole body becomes
Full of electrical.
full of electrical
Feel.
pulsation. Feel.
You feel we have mind excited. To feel the mind,
Feel
the
divine
mind oxygen.
intoxication.
Find
When
awareness
awareness
without Creativity. Without
is without
creativity.
creative energy.
Without Umuna.
It is called Numenon, Nirguna.
Find peace
It
must
is
be
with creative energy. It is called
held.
Saguna.
Pause very pause happening
Watch carefully what is happening
inside
inside,
because breathing is time.
because breathing is life.
How you have many days,
Do you have any any taste
of breathing,
of breathing,
taste of time,
taste of life?
although all taste depends on energy.
All taste depends on energy.
You are in your heaven. You are
in
your heaven.
inner world.
Here. By means of body, I get a point.